Howdy folks, I'm Raymon Grease, and I want to thank Allie for inviting me here today as a guest speaker to discuss some things with you folks, and we're going to talk about how to improve our lives, especially with dowsing. Now, most of you folks now are comfortable with dowsing and probably familiar with it, but I will explain some of it as we go along. The first thing I would like to do is to explain and give you the 3 principles upon which all of my work is based. And these are actually principles from a fellow named Einstein, who was a very intelligent man. And the first principle is energy is impressed upon matter. Thoughts and actions are energy. Your physical body is matter. So what this means is your body is affected by wherever you put your body. So I would suggest that you learn to dowse and to learn to measure energy, which Allie will be able to teach you. I have some on videos that are available on this subject, but let's just briefly touch on it right now. Learn to measure energy in places, with people, with events, and whatever else comes around. If you put your body in a low energy place, you are going to be affected by that low energy. And the same thing is true of high energy. So how do you determine this? Well, you determine it by learning how to measure energy. Now let's just give you some ideas. Measure the energy of a real fun place, a party house where people go and have a lot of fun. Measure the energy there. Measure the energy in a funeral home or in a graveyard. The energy is not going to be as high there. Why? Because of the sadness. So energy definitely affects our bodies, it affects our minds. So I cannot overemphasize the importance of learning how to measure energy of people, events, places, and we're going to get into this in the discussion here. And I refer to my notes from time to time here just to keep everything straight. All things are composed of energy, and the intelligent human mind has the ability to direct energy. What that means is everything is energy, and if necessary, we have the ability to change it. So if you have the ability to change energy, you become a much more powerful person. You make things happen in your favor instead of just being victims of circumstances. The third principle is energy follows thought. Wherever you put your thoughts, you put your energy. If you worry about illness, you will attract illness. If you worry about poverty, you will attract poverty. The best thing you can do is always think of what you want, not what you don't want. That is the best rule for success. So many people will then, when I tell them this, will start to make excuses of why they can't do it. Well, they're just defeating themselves. You'll always accomplish more by believing you can than believing you can't. So having a positive attitude is not only going to help you make more money, it'll help you have better class of friends and better health. I have practiced this for years, and I have just turned 80 years old, and I'm still very strong. I work hard, and I'm in good shape. I don't really have any aches and pains. Why? I'll give you my formula for it. Every day, I give thanks for a strong, healthy body. And that's it. You don't need to complicate it. Because whatever we focus on, that is what we get. So if you have been raised in an atmosphere where people gripes, complains all the time, you're going to have to break out of that if you're ever going to accomplish anything. So that's it. That's the 3 main principles, and these are principles of Einstein. And he was a pretty sharp guy, so I have followed his advice, and I would have to say that it works real well. So let's get into some more details here. Listen to yourself think, listen to yourself talk. It may take you some practice, but you can do it. So discipline yourself to only think and talk about positive subjects or a positive outcome. You're never going to make any money talking about a car wreck. You're never going to get healthier talking about diseases. You're never going to get healthier if you are telling everyone else why you're sick. It just doesn't, life doesn't work that way, folks. When people ask me how I am, I have one standard answer. I'm older than dirt and tougher than nails. And I've said it so many times, I believe it. And you know why? What? I've made it true. So I realize that this may be quite different than what you have been taught, but then again, it has worked for me, and I think it'll work for you too. So let's see what all else we can find here to do. You want to make sure that you keep your body out of low energy and negative energy places. Now, learn to douse, learn to measure the energy in places. The energy in a fun place where people are laughing and talking is going to be a lot better than the energy in a funeral home. If you doubt this, just learn to measure energy and you'll find out that this is true. So, do your best to stay away from low energy places. In the event that you feel compelled to visit some low energy place, such as a funeral, clean the place up before you go. You say, how do I do that? Well, rather than spend a lot of time trying to explain it, I have a video available called Change Energy, Change Your Life. And it's available on my website at raymondgrace.us. So once you learn how to do this, you can change about everything around you. You attract a better class of people, you attract happier people, and you weed out the ones that are always complaining and dragging you down. So it's no fun to listen to people complain all the time. I do a lot of work for people in various parts of the world. And when I get a request of someone wanting help, this is what I tell them in one sentence. Tell me in one sentence, how can I help you? If they start to complain, I say, you've got one more chance. And if you cannot tell me in one sentence, the conversation is over. Now tell me again, how do you hope I can help you? I find that eliminates me having to listen to a lot of people complain. And besides that, the more they complain, the worse they're getting. They're just basically digging a hole for themselves. Well, I don't want to fall in that hole with them, so I don't listen. And once they tell me what the problem is, then I will do my best to help them. Some of you listening may have had sessions with me, and you know this is the way I work. If you are in the counseling business or healing business or whatever, I suggest you might want to do the same thing, because you are never going to accomplish a whole lot simply by listening to complaints. So just sum it up real briefly. What does this person really need to help them? Usually it's getting rid of negative emotions, negative thoughts, and negative speaking. If you can teach them to change that, they can change their life by themselves. So the rule of success is think of what you want, not what you don't want. Let's see what we can do next here. Well, it's very important to do all of your thinking at a relaxed state of mind. Now, scientifically, this is called the alpha, A-L-P-H-A, alpha brain frequency. You don't need to use those words. You can just call it a relaxed state of mind. Why? I'll give you a little bit of information here. The alpha brain frequency is the most powerful brain frequency. That is where you want to do all of your thinking. Now, let me give you a bit of education here on brain frequency. Whenever you were born, your brain was emitting only 2-3 charges of electricity per second. This is known as a frequency, a brain frequency. This was called a delta brain frequency. As you got older, your brain frequency speeded up and you went into what is known as a theta, T-H-E-T-A, theta brain frequency. That runs from about 3 to 7 charges of electricity, and charge of electricity and frequency here is one and the same. And then when you got to be around 7 years old, your brain frequency speeded up again, ranging between 7 and 14 cycles per second. This is called the alpha frequency. This is the most powerful brain frequency that I am aware of. When you got to be a teenager around 14, your brain frequency speeded up again to 21 cycles per second. Now, there is not much power in the thoughts you have in a beta brain frequency. Please understand, the power of thought is in the alpha brain frequency. Now, you don't have to remember that word. Just call it a relaxed state of mind, or you can call it daydreaming. There's nothing wrong with that. But whenever you have something to think about, a problem to solve, get alone, out of the noise where it's nice and quiet, where nobody can disturb you, and you take a few deep breaths. Just real deep breaths like that. Close your eyes and imagine what you want to happen. Now, that sounds very simple, and it is simple, but it works. See, Einstein made another statement. He said, imagination is more important than knowledge. Most everything that I have ever accomplished, I accomplished it with imagination. I thought about it, I believed I could do it, and did it, simply with the mind. This is exactly how that I energized an entire big lake of water in Australia. You may have heard this story before, but it's a long ways from where I live to Australia. It's on the other side in the bottom half of the world. We literally changed the taste of a large lake that supplies all the water for Perth, Australia, to roughly 2 million people. I got a lot of feedback from it, people writing me emails thanking me for it. Most of the world knows that that's impossible, but I didn't know it was impossible. I thought it could be done, so I did it. You can do the same thing. I haven't done anything that you folks can't do. I'm perfectly willing to explain to you how to do things because I want you to win. Losing is not ever an option. Whenever we start out to do something, we only focus on the positive end result. We don't worry about what if, or if it's socially acceptable, or what religion thinks about it. These things do not concern me at all. The only thing that I dwell on is what do I really want to happen. Now, I never use any big words. Watermelon is the biggest word I know. I keep everything very simple. What I wanted to do was explain some of the things that we have done with dowsing and what you can do with it. Now, this is where I wanted to put most of the effort in, because a lot of folks will learn how to move a pendulum, and right here's what I use for a pendulum. It's simply a big 45 bullet on a chain. And please understand, folks, there's no magic in this pendulum. This right here is a clockwise circle. This is a counterclockwise circle. Whenever we wish to increase something or improve it, the pendulum will spin in a clockwise direction. Whenever we want to decrease something, it will spin in a counterclockwise direction. All right, now, that is pretty much the movement of the pendulum, but we also have one more here, and that's to me and away from me. Or you'd be swinging towards your body and away from your body. That indicates a yes. Swinging crossways like this indicates a no. If we wish to increase something, like you want to send a group of people happiness, all right, just put that in your mind and have the pendulum, and you don't have to move it. I'm not moving it, not at all. I realize it's moving, but I'm not intentionally moving it. All I have to do is talk about something or think about something, and this will move on its own. All right? So for you folks in the audience there right now, I want to increase your level of happiness. Okay? Now let's just see what we can do here. All right. right, now, I'm hoping you folks are going to feel this. This is the first time I have ever done an experiment like this with a live audience. I've done it with audiences that didn't know I was doing it, but this is something new. I wanted to try to help you out here. Now, there's something very common, and it's called just negative thoughts and negative emotions. Well, most everybody seems to have them. So what I'd like to do for the entire audience there today is to neutralize. That means take energy away from. Let's neutralize any negative thoughts, negative emotions within your physical body. See, if you have negative emotions in your body's not going to function that well. How do I know this? Because I deal with people every day whose body is loaded with negative emotions, like anger, fear, guilt, shame, all this stuff. That's not going to do them any good. It's never going to make them healthy. What we need to do, and that's what I'm eliminating from your bodies right now, any negative emotions that you might have there. Let's see if we can do this. This is a wonderful experiment that I never even thought about trying until just now. All right, now what I want to do is transform all those negative emotions into self-love. That makes me sound like a flower child, but it works. So let's see what happens. Now, when we play this in March, which you're listening to right now, I intend to be watching this and talking to you later to see a show of hands of how many people felt a positive difference. This is a really good experiment that I've never been able to do before with a live audience. So I'm really glad you folks showed up today. All right, now I want you to we took all the negative emotions and we turned them into self-love. Now, let's also put in the spirit of happiness within everyone's body here. And while we're at it, let's just go another step and put in the spirit of prosperity. Now, folks, I do this a lot. I've just never done it quite like this before. Now, if your thoughts will follow my thoughts, I think we can get more done. Okay. Now, let's see how you feel here. And let's see, let me stop just a minute. Now, whenever I come on the screen here in a little bit, I'm going to be looking at you folks, and I want a show of hands of the number of you that felt some improvement within your body, within your mind. You feel happier. Now, take this information home with you. Use it every day. If you do that, you're going to see your life improve, and it's going to improve a lot. So let's talk about now what we can do with dowsing, or what has already been done with dowsing. Well, I just mentioned about cleaning up water. Hopefully we're going to have some bottles of water in the class here. I did this the last time I spoke with Allie's group of people, and we passed the bottles of water around. People tasted them. Then I worked to improve the taste of the water, and then the folks could actually see it had changed. Now, it's a long ways from where I am to where you are. You're almost on the other side of the world. But so distance is not a factor. I've cleaned up water in 6 continents, everywhere except Antarctica. Now that doesn't mean I cleaned up the entire continent. That's not true. I cleaned up some water for a few people in each continent. So I'll try to be as honest and clear as I can on this. If you folks will learn to do this, and then practice it, you can clean up Europe. There's no doubt in my mind. So what I'm really hoping to do today is to empower you people, to show you what can be done. So cleaning up water is just one of the things we did. I worked for a friend of mine who is a pop star in Europe. I won't give their name right now. But this person has thousands of people show up at concerts. And I get invited to clean up all the people there that will be at the concert. Well, obviously, I don't know 20,000 people in Europe that will be at that concert, but that doesn't matter. I can use dowsing and clean up everyone from negative entities, sad feelings. The concerts goes wonderful. We've been doing this for about 4 or 5 years now. It has worked every time. And you're probably wondering, how do you do that when you don't have a clue who is at the concert? And you're right, I don't have a clue. I don't know those people. It is all about intent. I simply have the intent that I'm going to remove any negative entities from those attending the concert. I'm going to take the negative emotions from their body, turn them into self-love and happiness. That's it, folks. It's that simple. And what happens? I get an email very quickly when the concert is over that everything went wonderful. So stop and think now what we're really doing. We are changing the behavior of people and the emotions of people on the other side of the world without knowing anyone except the person I'm working for, the person doing the concert. This is the power of a focused mind. And if I've done it, you can do it, okay? Now let's see what else we can do. I don't know if you folks in Europe have this problem or not, but in America there's a lot of violence in schools. Well, let me just give you a story. There was a school bus driver called me one morning, and she was crying, and she says, I'm going to have to quit my job. I just cannot tolerate the abuse that these kids do. They cuss me, they hit me, they're rude, and she said, I just can't do this anymore. And I said, well, try it one more time this afternoon. Let's see what happens. That evening, she called me back and said, this was a different group of kids. They did not act the same. They were polite. The meanest one there came up to me and hugged me when they got off of the school bus. This all changed from the time that the bus driver hauled the kids to school that morning and brought them back home that afternoon. Their whole personalities had changed. This woman was in a class I was teaching. I asked her to stand up and tell what happened. She talked for 15 minutes on the difference in the behavior of the kids before and after with only 6 hours in between. This is what you are able to do. So if you people have kids in school or grandkids, it doesn't matter, clean the school up. Now, I won't get into every way of how to do it, but in the film, Change Energy, Change Your Life, that film's good for a lot of things, I show you how to do it. Now, there's not any difference in cleaning up a school, a church, a home, a bar. It's all the same principle. So don't confuse this, folks. What works for one is going to work for all the rest of them, and you can do it. Okay, my biggest problem is convincing you that you can do it. And the only way you're ever going to know is to try it and find out. Now, a lot of people write and ask me if they can do something. Can I clean up my kid's school? Can I clean up the place where I work? And my standard answer is try it and find out. That's the only way you're ever going to know. I clean up airports for a lot of people. I have a couple of high-ranking military people. They will not fly on an airplane until I have cleaned up the plane, the crew, and the airport. And I'm always glad to do it for them because they know this stuff works. So there's potential danger from terrorists anytime you're in a large crowd, whether it's an airport or a concert or wherever. Clean these places up before you go. And that Change Energy, Change Your Life will give you the details on how to do this. So I'm just giving you some ideas of what you can clean up. If you're going to a social event, well, there's probably no danger there, but there may be some hostilities among people. Find out what is the level of compatibility with this group of people. If it's not good, if it's less than 100%, you take away all negative entities, negative thought forms, negative emotions, turn it all into peace, love, happiness, whatever you feel guided to do on it, and then see what happens. They're going to get along a lot better. All right. Now, a lot of young people like to go to concerts. Some of those concerts have a lot of bad stuff there. How do I know? Well, I've measured them. People contact me that their teenage son or daughter wants to go to a concert, and I check, and there's actually demons there. It depends on the type of music they have. There's certain types of music that seems to attract a lot of negativity. So use your dowsing to determine wherever your kid is going or wherever you're going, what is the energy in the place? Is the music beneficial for you, or is it detrimental to you and to your kid? Now, if it's your kid that's going, what you can do is neutralize the negative effect of any music there upon the person. Now, the music may possibly even be possessed. You may have to do an exorcism on the music. You will need to do an exorcism possibly on the performers and the entire group of people and the place. This is going to take you a little bit of time, but you can do it. But consider this. Consider the alternative. What happens if you don't do it? Is it worth 5 minutes of your time? Well, I would think so. If your kid is that important to you, it's important enough to use whatever time you need to get the job done. Now, I realize I'm probably saying some things some of you might not agree with. Well, that doesn't really make any difference to me, because I do this stuff, folks, most every day. I've done it for years. I see what works. I see what don't work. So all I'm doing is sharing with you what is possible to do. And if you just listen to me and say, wow, that's a good idea, and then you don't do anything, you haven't accomplished anything. So actually put this stuff to work. I'm really trying to help you, and especially I'm trying to help your kids to stay out of trouble and to just have a better life. Now, if they get into the wrong people, wrong crowd and all that, they can actually pick up suicidal tendencies. You probably are aware of this, but if you're not, I just made you aware of it. So if your kid starts acting kind of strange and the behavior is different, check to see if they've been possessed. And yes, that same film, Change Energy, Change Your Life, will show you how to do an exorcism. Just pay attention and do whatever you can to help your kids have a safe life. And you save a lot of trouble that way, folks. It's a lot easier to eliminate a problem than it is to correct it later. Now, you can also use dowsing to check travel routes. Usually there's more than one way to go somewhere. Not always, but usually. But you want to check what is the danger level of a route of wherever it is you're going. It doesn't matter where it is. Just ask, is there any danger on this trip? If there's not, that's fine. You don't need to do anything. If there is danger, what you might want to do is find out, well, are there any negative entities or demonic forces on the road? And yes, that does happen. Years ago, there was a truck driver contacted me, and he told me about a road that he drove across the Midwest, the United States. And he said every time he was on that road, there were always a lot of wrecks. Well, I checked it out simply with my dowsing. I just picked up the pendulum like this, and I said, are there any demons on that road? Yes. How many? More than one, more than two, more than three, more than four. No, I said, there's 4 demons on that road. The next time you have to drive that route, I want you to call me whenever you get back. He did. He said there were no wrecks. It was a totally different road. So what I'm telling, also I did this to an island. I don't remember the name of the island. It's a long island off the east coast of Africa. And they were having a lot of wrecks on that island, tremendous number of them. And someone who had relatives there contacted me and wanted to know if I could help them clean up the place and reduce the wrecks. The wrecks did not totally stop, but they decreased tremendously. And what did we do? I simply went through in my mind and removed all the entities, all demonic forces along the roads. Now, we still had reckless drivers that would run out of the road and hit a tree or whatever. I don't think I could fix that. But what we could do was clean up the energy on the roads. So anywhere you and your family are going, check to see if the roads are safe. If they're not, well, make them safe. You have the ability to do this. I'm doing my best to show you how. All right, now let's see what else we can do here. Okay, food allergies. An awful lot of people, especially kids, seem to have food allergies. Well, I won't say that I've cleaned them all up, but I've helped most of them. So this is so simple. I want to show you how to do it. When I'm teaching a class, I just ask, how many of you people in here are allergic to anything? And the hands will go up, and I'll say, okay, what are you allergic to? Well, dairy products. Somebody is allergic to tomatoes. Somebody else is allergic to something else. So I just go through and I'll listen to them. And I say, okay, let me see what I can do. So then I do this. I neutralize the negative effect of the previous allergic food upon them. Now, will I mention that? Yes. I neutralize negative effect of eggs upon you, dairy products, green peppers, whatever it happens to be. But I do this for the entire group at one time. I just happen to think, why don't I do it for you right now? Okay? So, what let's do. I hadn't even planned to teach it this way, but I just happened to think about it, so let's do it. For all you folks that have food allergies, how about letting me neutralize those allergies for you? Whether it's eggs, whether it's dairy products, any kind of vegetables, any kind of meat, whatever it is. Let's see if we can neutralize the negative effect upon you. Now, what's coming to mind right now is some of you are allergic to penicillin. Well, let's neutralize the negative effect of penicillin on you. I've done it before. We can do it again. Now, again, the length of time and velocity at which its pendulum spins indicates the amount of energy required to correct the problem. You folks got a lot of problems. Okay, now, part two. We're going to take that energy that we neutralized and transform it into causing all the previous allergic foods and drink to be nutritionally beneficial for your body. Okay? What I would like for you to do, if it's okay with Allie, is write her a note after in a day or so now, after you've had time to test it, and let her know if this worked for you, and then she can let me know. Or if you want to contact me, if you write English, it's okay. English is the only language I could understand. You can write me if you want to, and tell me what happened. I'd really like to know, because this is an experiment today. We've never done anything quite like this. And if it works, well, maybe we could do it again for a bigger audience. Or, better yet, just let you do it. I'm showing you how. You don't really need me. You can do it yourself. All right, now, whenever you start to eat whatever you have been allergic to, don't say that this is going to make me sick, because if you do, you're going to be right. Believe that you can eat this without any negative effects whatsoever. And you probably can. Now, if it's something totally dangerous that would kill you, then don't do it. Don't take that kind of a risk. But if it's something just simple, just go ahead and give it a try. Okay, folks, let's cover some more things here rather briefly. I put a lot of time and effort into that, but these right here I want to be brief. Check to see if anyone has any intent to harm your family, rob your house, or anything like that. All you have to do is just get your pendulum and say, does anyone have any intent to do any harm to my family or break in my house? And then go from there, see if you can figure out who it is, and prevent it. So I won't get too much more detail on this. I just want you to know that this is possible to do. All right. Check the compatibility with your family, your friends, any social gathering you're going to have. Before you go, check what is the compatibility among these people. Then take away any negativity that would adversely affect the compatibility. You can have a much happier reunion, gathering, event, whatever, if you clean up people before it happens. It's exactly the same principle I'm using to clean up concerts from a pop star friend. Exactly the same thing. Okay. You can use this dowsing to check the mechanical condition of your car. If you're going to buy a car or a truck or whatever, check the mechanical condition of it before you buy it. If it's not good enough, like if it's below 90%, don't buy it. So I check out everything. If you think you might have a car breakdown in the future or something, just ask, is there some weak part of my car that needs to be repaired right now? And if it's like 90 below zero, it's very weak, take it to a mechanic before it breaks down. It's a lot cheaper to get something repaired before it breaks than it is to get stuck on the road somewhere and not be able to get home or have to get a tow truck. So use this stuff ahead of time to predict things that might go wrong and correct them before they happen. Check integrity of people. Now, I realize there's some people out there that when I say this, they're going to say, well, you're interfering with another human being. You better believe I am. It's to keep people from cheating you. So check a person's integrity before you spend any money with them, before you make any agreements with them. By all means, check their level of integrity. I will not do business with anyone lower than 90% integrity. All right, as far as finding missing objects, lost animals, you simply put yourself in the center of the chart and say which direction is this object, animal, or whatever from where I am right now. And it will give you a direction of, if it's straight ahead, that's north. If it's going right to the 100% on the right-hand side, that's east. The bottom is south. The halfway point there on the left is west. So you can determine, is this north, south, east, or west from where you are right now. That's how I found a lost dog for a neighbor. The dog had been gone for 10 days. They thought it was dead. I didn't think so. So I simply put my house in the center of the chart mentally. I said, which way is this dog from my house? It was northeast. Well, I knew which direction that was, so I simply imagined the dog coming down the road from that direction. The next morning I'll go up looking for it. Here comes the dog, right where I thought it would be. So you can find all kind of stuff like this. Okay. By all means, use dowsing to get people to treat you better. One of the main things wrong, and this may be a little hard for you to grasp, but one of the main things that causes people not to get along with each other is their spirit guides are not compatible. So I want to share a story with you here very briefly. I was friends with an Indian woman in British Columbia who has already passed on now, but she was a wonderful person. And one day she told me, she said, if you're trying to help somebody and your spirit guides don't like their spirit guides, you won't be able to help them. And I thought, well, that's why parents and kids, bosses and employees, various people don't get along. The spirit guides don't like each other. So if there's someone you have to work with, or maybe you're related to them, or somehow have to be in their presence and you just don't get along, check to see how compatible your spirit guides are. And if they have negative spirit guides, you can take them away. Now, I realize there's a lot of dowsers out there that wouldn't dare do what I do. I'm aware of that, but I don't care. I win and they don't. That's the only thing that makes any difference to me is, do you win? because losing is not an option. So there's been a lot of rules made about dowsing that shouldn't have ever been made, so I don't follow any of them. To me, I ask only one question: does it improve the condition? If it improves the condition, that's all I need to know. Then I will do my best to make it, make a change. So can you take a person's spirit guides away from them? You sure can. Especially, who would I first start with? Probably child molesters, thieves, violent people. I have no problem at all taking their spirit guides away from them. Now, you can also do it with people that you're just disagreeable with. And it may be that your spirit guides don't like theirs. Well, you may have to remove some of yours. You didn't know you could do this, okay? I'm just telling you, you can. So this, I don't know how often I might get to speak to you folks. This may be the last opportunity I get to talk to some of you. So I want to give you as much information as possible. All right, let's see what else we've got here. The way you word this question is, what is your compatibility with this person? And if it's real low compatibility, then you want to remove the beliefs, thoughts, memories, spirit guides, whatever, to increase the compatibility. All right, let's see what else we've got. Prosperity. So many people want me to give them prosperity. Well, I can't really give them anything, but I can show you how to get it. Whatever it is you want in life, don't ask for it. Give thanks for it. Why? Well, if you ask for it, you're saying you don't have it. If you give thanks for it, you're saying you do have it. It's that simple, folks. So every night and every morning, give thanks for the spirit of prosperity. Most emotions, maybe all emotions, have a spirit. Prosperity has a spirit, and if you don't have it, then you probably don't have much money. So whenever I talk to a group of people, whether I know them or not, if it's the fact that you came to this event here today tells me that you want to improve your life. Maybe Allie has had you in some of her classes. She and I are very good friends, and I like to help her people as much as I possibly can. And that's why we're doing this today. We want to empower you folks. Weak people don't get a lot done. Powerful people do. So I'll do my best to empower people. Okay, I have a story for you. My friend Benny Pig is a carpenter, but he was not a real safe carpenter. And he was sawing a board one day, and he run that finger, this one right here now, right into a saw. He didn't cut it this way, he run it right into the saw. It cut the entire first joint of his finger off. Well, he didn't get too excited about it. He just picked up a cleaning rag, poured a little water on it, washed the blood off, wrapped a rag around it, went on back to work. We filmed him 16 days later, and that finger had already grown out, including a nail. And that wasn't the full length, it was still about a joint shorter than the other finger. But in time, it grew out to its original length. Well, a lot of people ask Benny, how did you know you could do that? And his answer was, I used to catch lizards when I was a kid. And catching a lizard sometime, it would try to get away from me and pull its tail off. It would grow a new tail. He said, I'm smarter than a lizard. If a lizard can do it, I can do it. So that's just one of the stories of what you can do if you don't know you can't. My friend Jeff Jones was in my class 27 years ago. And at the time, I didn't know much about energizing water, but I had a cup of water, and I was showing the group how to energize it. And he said, you're putting energy in water? And I said, yeah, I think so. He said, well, if you can put energy in water, I can put vitamins and minerals in it. I'd never thought of that. Been 27 years now. He hadn't had a meal. He lives on water. Everybody knows that's impossible. Everybody except him. This is the power of the mind, folks. When a person can live for 27 years on water alone and gain weight, it's something that most of the world knows is impossible, but Jeff doesn't know it, and he just goes ahead and lives that way. I attract some very unusual friends. I guess the business I'm in of doing all this kind of stuff, you're just going to attract unusual people because people come and tell me things they won't tell anybody else because they know I won't laugh at them. I'll listen to them. So right here is something else you can do. I had programmed myself to be aware of any dangers to my friends or family and to take appropriate action to avoid the danger. Well, Jeff was driving up into the mountains of West Virginia, and there's a tunnel up there through the mountain. And I was in Florida at the time, and I woke up that morning thinking, Jeff's in trouble. So I called him immediately. And I said, where are you? And he told me which highway he was on, going just about ready to go through that tunnel. I said, get off the road. Don't go that way. Well, he took me at my word. That evening he called back. There was a landslide that totally blocked the tunnel. He would have been sitting there for another day or so if he hadn't followed the directions and got off the road. So how did we do that? I programmed myself to be aware of any and all danger to my family and friends and take the appropriate action and avoid the danger. So you can program yourself to be at the right place at the right time. You can program yourself to attract the best of all opportunities. I suggest you put this stuff to work. And don't tell people what you're doing if you think they will ridicule you or laugh at you or not believe you. Why? Because that will deteriorate your own belief system. So I don't ever ask anybody if I can do anything. I do it first and then I tell what I did. Because if I had told people years ago, I'm going to change water and clean up water on 6 planets, not 6 planets, but 6 continents, they would have laughed at me and told me it was impossible. So I didn't tell them. I just did it. So you folks that are getting inspired by this talk, I hope you are. So go and try some of these things. See, here's a problem. If you tell people what you're going to do and you don't get it done, then you will feel like a failure. So don't tell anybody. Just give it a try, see what happens. And if you don't get it done the first time, you might need to learn something how you can do it the next time. I haven't always won the first time I did something. I don't want to give you that impression at all. I have had to do a number of things, a number of times to ever get things done right. So don't think you're a failure if you try to do something and don't get it done. All right, we're about out of time. I want to thank Allie for inviting me to visit you folks like this, talk with you. We're going to try to be on here in a few minutes on a Zoom session with you. At that time, I'm going to see if I can give you some good tasting water. So thank you for your attention and have a good rest of the conference.